I, 49 male, need advice on how to apologize to my son, 27 male, for kicking him out for being gay. So I'm new to this sub, but I decided to use a throwaway because I'm embarrassed about what I did to my son. 11 years ago, I was a very conservative Christian. I was the type that would go to church with my family every Sunday and actually look forward to going. If you would have told me that I'd consider myself atheist in the future, I would have laughed in your face. I'm not proud of the man I used to be. But at the time, I really thought that I was being the best person I could by living as a Christian and following God's rules. My son was outed when he was 16, and I reacted the way that you would expect a conservative Christian father to react, with hate and anger. At the time, I didn't think of it as hate, though. I thought of myself as a good and loving father for being so upset that my son had chosen a sinful lifestyle. I forced him to go to counseling, but it didn't work. I know now that's because it never works, but at the time I blamed my son for not trying hard enough. I eventually kicked him out of the house because I couldn't have him there as a bad influence on his younger brothers and sisters. I never contacted him again, and he never contacted me or anyone else in our family. His mother died 2 years later, and because of the way that she died, I started to question my faith. I started researching Christianity and science on my own, and eventually I stopped going to church. I gradually became less conservative, and now I consider myself an atheist. I've been thinking a lot about my son the last couple of years. I just feel so horrible for the way that I treated him and for forcing him to live on his own as a 16-year-old. Every time I think about him, I feel like crying, and to be honest, I've shed a few tears while writing this. There's nothing I can do or say to make up for what I did, but I found his address online and also found his Facebook profile. When I started looking him up, I was scared to death of what I would find, but it looks like he's doing good. I've been thinking a lot about how I should contact him, and even if I should do it. I'm so worried about how he'll react that I've written him about 15 letters and never actually sent them. I think that's the best way to go about it. Sending a letter, but every time I wrote one and read it afterwards, I just imagine him reading it and throwing it in the garbage and chick it out and throw it away myself. I haven't talked to my other kids about him, and they've never brought him up, and I just feel like I should keep them out of this until I actually find out if he wants to have any contact with us. I just need advice on how to actually send the letter, what to write, and if I should even send it. Any advice at all would be greatly appreciated. Edit, I just wanted to add a thank you for all the great advice. I know some of you think I come across as if I'm expecting him to forgive me and have a relationship with me straight away. This is not the case. I'm very much aware that the chance of him never wanting any contact with me is pretty high, but I'm not sending the letter just because I want to possibly have him in my life again. I feel like he deserves to hear that I know what I did was wrong. He deserves an apology. What he does with the information in the letter is his choice, and whatever choice he makes will be accepted and respected by me. I've called all my other kids and invited them to dinner tomorrow so that I can tell them about their brother in the letter. I'm very nervous about it, but it has to be done sooner rather than later. I mean, I do agree. I think that you should definitely let him know with no expectations. Like, I know exactly what I did was wrong, and I know that this is not me reaching out because I think that you would forgive me, but I hope that, I don't know, I hope that you can find peace in knowing that I was wrong and there's nothing wrong with you, but I was just an idiot. And yeah, maybe he'll find some peace in that, and maybe he will want a relationship with you, but I don't know. I'm not sure how I would feel if I were him in this situation. I feel like I probably wouldn't want a relationship with my dad after that happened. Like, that's a really traumatic situation to go through, and obviously the reasons are shitty, but are not surprising, especially growing up in the Christian faith and in the Christian community and going to church every Sunday myself for 25 years, 24 years, I don't even know. And yeah, I mean, it's not surprising at all. And it's really crazy to think about, but I'm really glad that he has come to the light side and realized, that's actually not okay at all. And it's really crazy how humans have put such a terrible spin on a religion that is supposed to be about love and acceptance, and about this person that was the most accepting, loving, caring, liberal, icon ever. And people have just smeared his name so bad that, if you're not a Christian or if you're not religious, think sometimes, I don't know, for me, like, I can keep it separate because I know that what humans have put on the name of like Christianity and Jesus Christ is just all wrong. But it's just crazy because how can they not realize that, like, if Jesus was here, if he was a person living in this time and you did this and you came to him and was like, hey, what should I do? My son is gay and I'm going to kick him out because because you said that it's wrong to be gay and that it's a sin to be gay. And I don't want him around me because he's choosing a sinful lifestyle. That's like the complete opposite of what Jesus would have done. And it's just crazy to me how much we've spun it as a society. And that's just like, I don't know. It's so frustrating to me because people say, like, live like Jesus would, or what would Jesus do? And then they do the complete opposite of what Jesus would actually do. So it's just so hypocritical to me. But anyways, some of the relevant comments, someone said, oh, that's so hard. I think any letter you send should include the following: a complete apology with 0 qualifiers, an acknowledgement that you have done him a terrible wrong and that he is under no obligation to forgive you, your desire to be back in his life on his terms, on his schedule, your willingness to facilitate a relationship with your children that is not dependent on your son's relationship with you, in case your son wants to see his siblings but not you, and then leave the door open for him to take that next step. Okay, so he wrote this letter, and I'm going to read it. He said, I've written the same letter a million times, but I would love to get some objective thoughts on it, because every time I read and write it, it never seems like enough. Quote, Lucas, I don't even know where to begin when I write this letter. I've written it many times, but it never seems good enough to send to you. The first thing I have to do is apologize for not telling you that your mother died. She was diagnosed with ALS and passed away 9 years ago. I never contacted you to let you know she died, and I don't know if anyone else in our family did. Either way, I'm really sorry for not telling you and robbing you of the chance to say goodbye to your mother. Your mother's death was extremely difficult for all of us, and it made me start to question my faith. Everyone at our church helped our family through her death, but I still had a lot of questions. So I started doing research on our religion and science. After a while, I realized I couldn't continue following the word of God the way I was brought up to do. It might be very hard for you to believe, but I no longer consider myself religious. Which brings me to how I treated you. At the time, I did what I thought was right for our family and you, but that does not change the fact that what I did was unforgivable. Not only did I kick you out when you really needed our love and support, but I made you go through some counseling, which I've learned is closer to torture than actual counseling. I don't know what you did once you left home, but it truly breaks my heart to think of the things you might have done to survive. No one on earth deserves to go through what you've been through because of me, and I want you to know that I'm so sorry for what I've put you through. I completely understand if you never want to hear from me again, but I had to send this letter to let you know that if you want me in your life, I'm here. Whenever you're ready, in any way that you want. If you just want contact with your brothers and sisters, that's fine. If it takes you years to talk to me, that's fine. If you never want any contact with me, that's fine. Of course, I want to be a part of your life again, but if that's not something you want, I completely understand. There's no excuse for what I've done. And even if you are able to forgive me, I don't think I can ever forgive myself. I've known I should have sent this letter for years, but I've been too ashamed of myself to send it. I hope you feel no obligation to contact me. I'm only sending this letter so that you would know that I'm here for you now, if you want. I love you so much, and I'll do whatever to make up for what I've done, even if that means never reaching out to you again. Dad. Unquote. I think I have to tell his brothers and sisters about this before sending the letter, and if they want, I'll include their contact information so that he doesn't have to go through me to reach out to them. Whoa. Reading that letter just made me so sad, honestly. Whew. That's terrible. Okay, I'm like nervous. I don't know what is going to happen, but this is over 2 weeks later, and this is an update. I just wanted to give you guys an update and also thank you for all the great advice and insight. It was really tough to read some of the more angry comments, but I understand why some of you were angry with me. What I did was horrible and unforgivable, so I was expecting a few angry comments. What did bother me a little bit, though, was everyone who was saying that I only wanted to apologize to my son out of selfish reasons and wanted to guilt him into being in my life again. It worried me that that was the impression I was giving some of you, because that's not what I wanted at all. I love my son, and I just felt like he deserved an apology and a chance at having a relationship with his siblings, and that if he wanted me back in his life, I'm here now, even though I should have always been there for him. I wasn't expecting him to want to have contact with me again, but I wanted him to know that it was an option if that's what he wanted. I invited my kids over for dinner the day after I posted here, and they all came, and I sat them down and told them the truth. It was a very painful conversation for all of us and lots of tears, but I was happy that the truth was finally out. They all wanted to send him letters as well, and we decided to send them together with all our contact information. I don't know how to explain the feeling I had after we sent them. It was a mix of a lot of emotions, and then waiting to see if he would reply to any of the letters was also a weird mix of emotions. I don't really know what to expect, but couldn't help but hope that he would at least reply to one of us. Our family tried to eat dinner together every Sunday. It's an old habit. Everyone can't always make it, but the Sunday after sending the letters, we were all together. No one had heard from him yet, which wasn't really surprising. We talked about how he would probably need some time to process everything. It must be very bizarre and overwhelming to suddenly get an envelope full of letters from your estranged family. The doorbell rang while we were eating dinner, and my oldest daughter answered it. When she came back, we were extremely shocked to see that the person at the door was my son. I can't help but cry while I'm writing this because it was just so emotional to see him standing there in front of me. Everyone got up to hug him, but I wasn't sure what to do, so I just sort of stood there with tears in my eyes. When his siblings let him go, he looked at me, and I was half expecting him to yell at me and half expecting him to punch me, but he just walked over and gave me a hug. I completely broke down, and he started to cry too. We all stood there crying for a minute before we finally were ready to actually talk. And we all talked for hours. There's no words to describe how it felt to see my son after all these years and hear him talk. I could listen to him talk all day. He said he couldn't figure out what to write in a letter or what to say in a phone call, so he just got in his car and drove here. It was really unexpected, but really wonderful. He told us about his life from the day he left, and it was very difficult to hear what he'd been through because of me, but I needed to hear it. Apparently, his aunt, my sister, had been in contact with him after he left, and she told him about his mom dying, and she sent him money now and then. He's been through a lot, but he's doing really well now. After sitting and talking for a couple of hours, we went outside to just talk to him and me, and long story short, he forgives me. He said that it'll take a long time for him to really trust me again, but that he's angry with me for years, and he's tired of it and ready to start building a relationship. He left about an hour after our conversation, and we all exchanged phone numbers, and his siblings added him on all their social media stuff. He lives about an hour and a half away, but he said he'll let us know when he got time for another Sunday dinner. He sent me a couple of texts since then, and I couldn't be happier that he did that. I know I don't deserve to be forgiven, and I don't deserve to have a relationship with my son, but I would be lying if I said that I didn't have a small hope that it would happen. I know that I have to be extremely respectful towards his wishes and let him take the lead with all of this. I told him to let me know if he felt like we were being too pushy and that he's the boss of this whole situation. We all want to go at the pace that he feels comfortable at, and he's always welcome here whenever he feels like it. So yeah, I'm extremely excited for the future and also extremely grateful for all of the advice that you guys gave me. You really gave me the push I needed to tell my kids and send that letter. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Well, I'm really happy about that. I'm wondering how he knew that you guys were there, or maybe he didn't know that you guys were there, or did you guys say like, hey, there's a family dinner every Sunday if you feel like coming in your letters, and then you gave him the address, or what? That's what I want to know. But honestly, he's better than I am, because I would have cursed your name and put a hex on you probably with a voodoo doll that was just like hanging in some water for the rest of your life in a body of water tied with bricks to your feet. But anyways, enough of that. Yeah, I don't know what to say other than he's so graceful for that. And I'm glad that this dad realized that. And I'm glad the siblings get to have their brother in their life. And I really wish that I could hear an update from him. because I want to know how he's doing in life and like what got him to the point that he is in life, because I can only imagine being kicked out at such a young age. I feel like I would probably still be homeless if I hadn't, like, I would not know what to do. If I had no one, my family exiled me, I would not know what to do. I wouldn't know where to go, like, probably to my friend's house, but, like, how long can I stay at my friend's house? And then, I don't know, especially at the age of 16, like, I had nothing. I was probably babysitting every other week and had no money. So I'd be like, and also when you're in high school, like you're going to stay at your friend's house, it's not their house, it's their parents' house. So it's not like, oh, I'm moving in for a little bit if I can, if that's okay. I mean, I know that I could probably stay with my best friend that I actually I don't know why I'm like genuinely putting myself in the shoes of this guy and like thinking about what I actually would do. But I think I have a couple friends that would have let me live with them for a while. But otherwise, I don't know what I would do. I would definitely be like homeless for sure. Probably still to this day. So I don't know how people do it. Like, how do people do it when they get kicked out at such a young age, or when they like leave the house because of an abusive situation at such a young age? I genuinely, those people are so strong, and it's really crazy to think about. And obviously I don't fault anyone that isn't able to get out of that situation. Like, if they did end up being homeless, like, I can understand exactly why. That's such a hard situation. And it's crazy that someone's parents would like put that on a child after you brought this child into the world. Now you're going to kick them out. Like, that's crazy. That should be illegal, genuinely. The top comment says, I'm so grateful for my dad. When I told him I was bisexual, he just said, oh, that's normal. Everybody's like that. Remember, you can still get STDs from girls. I know, and now my dad knows that everyone isn't like that. I'm happy that my dad and I got to come out to each other, even though he low-key outed my mom in the process. Oh, I love that. Not the whole LGBTQ family. This person said, that's a cute story, even if there's a little well-meaning derp in it. I am happy for your family. Reminds me of the dad who started supporting LGBT issues because of the post-OP sister. Huh? Apparently, she wasn't gay, but dyed her hair blue, and he could tell the difference. Dude. Sorry, I just sniffed into the camera. I feel like... I don't know what I was going to say. Is it? No, it's kind of like, I don't know, I guess people really are super, super straight, but like, do people not find like every gender beautiful in some way? Like, I can be like, oh yeah, that girl's hot over there, and that guy's hot, and this person's hot, and like, I don't know, not to say that I've ever had feelings for a girl, but like, I don't think that it's the craziest thing to think about in the world. But I guess people are like super, super straight, and that's like not even, they don't even think for a second that the person of the opposite gender is attractive in any way. This person said, I hope they successfully reconnected and worked through all the pain caused by OOP. Same. I hope that this guy, like, honestly, this dad should be like, hey, I'll pay for your therapy since I literally ruined your life and you were outed. And then on top of that, I kicked you out at the most vulnerable time of your life. And when you were 16 years old, like, he should compensate him financially, genuinely. Like, he owes him so much more than money, but it should be applicable by the law that he is compensated monetarily. Love you guys so much. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.